Hi class, my name is Lindsay O'Sullivan and I'm teaching the Hospitalized Child CDEC 2471. This is my class that I teach. This is my fourth or fifth time teaching it, and it's the primary course that I teach at San Jacinto. I am a certified child life specialist. I've been in the field for 5 years. For the first 4 years, I worked primarily in outpatient settings, primarily doing procedural support and some diagnosis education. Sorry about that. That's my husband's work alarm going off. Then for the last year, I worked in the GI procedure suites, working with children who are undergoing upper and lower endoscopies, GI procedures of that kind, and undergoing anesthesia for those procedures. I want to apologize for the first couple weeks of class that things were a little bit different. As I shared with you, I had a death in the family, and so things kind of rapidly changed. And then, as some of you may have realized, the class was kind of questionable as to whether or not we were going to move forward with it. So I didn't find out that we were moving forward with the class too much prior to the time that I needed to immediately leave town. Posted on Blackboard is our upcoming schedule of events. Please follow that schedule. I know that on the example of fieldwork hours, there are due dates listed. I am going to fix those and change those and repost them soon. So please follow what's written on the syllabus and plan for those meeting dates. I think one of you has a class on Wednesday nights, and since originally the class was scheduled to be on Thursday nights, I may move those meetings just to the day after if you all can't do Wednesdays. This class is an independent study, so I will not be able to really hold your hand and really guide you through each thing individually. You will really have to take this on yourself. However, the field of child life is much like that. You really have to find your way. You have to fight your way to getting a job. And so if you're interested in becoming a child life specialist, this class is going to provide you with the positive experiences to move forward for that. To become a child life specialist, you have to have a bachelor's degree in a related field, either psychology, child and family development, human development and family studies, early childhood education. So those things have to be done. You have to get that in a bachelor's degree before you can start. Then the Child Life Council assesses to see if you have 10 courses that meet their criteria, and you have to have a course taught by a child life specialist. This class will suffice for that. We cover all of the required topics that are on their verification form. If you pass my class at the end of the class, you will receive a verification form. This class requires 60 fieldwork hours, 3 hours a week. Your first 6 hours you are going to get by getting together with children, as I've mentioned on Blackboard, and watching them play with a medical play kit, then writing your reflection paper. You have probably seen the example of the reflection paper online, and of course the reflection paper isn't written about observing a well child, but what you're going to do is you are going to always have a subjective section, an objective section, hypothetical involvement, and a relationship to theory. Objective and subjective are very different. Subjective is your opinion, your analysis of what you see. Objective is factual, stating what you literally observe. Observe objective. That always helps me to remember. So that section is going to be literally sharing exactly what you've seen. So here's some ways that I see that get mucked up. Sometimes I'll see writing that says something like, Sally got really frustrated. She threw the car at Billy. Then Billy got so sad and he was crying and crying. So that has some subjective and some objective mixed in together. The objective piece would be Sally threw the truck, or I can't remember if that's what I said, but Sally threw the truck. That's literally what you observed. Then the subjective piece would be, I feel like Sally was frustrated. She was demonstrating behaviors that are reflective of that. She was stomping her feet, those things. So anyway, subjective is your analysis of what you saw. Billy was sad is not a fact. Billy was sad is your analysis of his behavior. But what you could say was Billy was tearful. That is your objective piece. So hopefully that helps. So you're going to practice writing those papers. Part of the reason you're going to do that is that is how that is similar to how child life specialists chart. And so you're going to be learning how to document. Child life specialists work in the hospital, and primarily their goals are to decrease children's anxiety and increase children's coping. And the way they do those things is through the healing modality of play. They use education and play to help to achieve those goals of decreasing anxiety and increasing coping. So one of the main things that I think students get the most concerned about is fieldwork hours. So I'm going to try and talk some of those through with you. Again, the due dates are from my previous class, so don't worry about the due dates that are on the list. I was going to try and show you, but it looks like once you start, you can't flip the camera. Okay. Sorry, you guys are stuck looking at me. Maybe I can show you my computer. Okay. Oh, I can. All right. So, episodic volunteering at Texas Children's Hospital. If you go to the Texas Children's website, there will be a link, Ways to Give. You can click on that and then you can find out about volunteering. To count hours at Texas Children's Hospital or at any children's hospital in the area, they need to be in a playroom or under the supervision of a child life specialist. Volunteering in general is not going to give you enough of what you need for your fieldwork hours for this class. So this is one way that you can get your hours. You can also try MD Anderson. You may also try Shriners. You may also try Children's Memorial Hermann. You could even try Texas Women's. I think they have a couple of child life specialists on staff. You could try Ben Taub. The reason Texas Children's is listed is because I am familiar with their volunteer program, and so I know that they have opportunities in playrooms. You are going to want to find something as quickly as you can that you can get through volunteer orientation as quickly as you can to collect hours. So that's one way you can get hours. It is probably the easiest way. So I would encourage everyone to look into volunteering at a hospital. Okay. Another way, sorry about the terrible camera work, guys. So another way you can get your volunteer hours is by observing a Children's Advisory Board meeting. Texas Children's has theirs at the first Saturday of every month. So the next ones would be in October and November. And they take a break in December, so you wouldn't have that December opportunity. I would offer you 3 hours for observing one of their meetings. And if you are interested in doing that, you need to contact me so that I can contact the appropriate people at Texas Children's and see if you can be approved for observing. Some of the next few opportunities would be observing a certified child life specialist. We should have those opportunities. I'm going to flip back to me and hopefully you don't see my messy house. Okay. So observing a child life specialist, I am willing and able to reach out to the local hospitals and see if child life specialists would be willing to have you observe. There's no way you would be able to do all of your hours. It's just impossible. However, you could do 3 of your hours, 6 of your hours, 12 of your hours that way, probably at different hospitals. If you would like for me to arrange or write an email or reach out to a contact, at a local hospital, if you're in Houston or one of the surrounding areas, I am happy to do that. You just need to email me and let me know where you'd like to observe. If you think you'd like to observe everywhere you can, I will reach out for that opportunity. If you are only able to observe out at the Woodlands, at the Texas Children's location there, let me know. I will reach out there as well. I can't promise those opportunities will be available, but I will do my best. I feel fairly certain that a couple of the hospitals will take me up on it, especially since you guys are a small group. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time organizing unless I know that that's something that you want. So with that in mind, you have my email address. Let me know if you're interested in observing a child life specialist. I think it would be phenomenal for you, and if I were in your position, I would choose to observe as many child life specialists as possible. Okay. You could also reach out to local hospitals and find out about observing an activity coordinator. Some hospitals call them partners. Some hospitals call them child life assistants. But their primary function is to provide play in the hospital. So if you think you might be interested, if you don't see yourself moving forward with a degree or going through with a certification exam, if you think that you want to work just solely on your associates at San Jac, which is absolutely fine, and you don't plan on moving forward to become a specialist, but you are really interested in working with children in the hospital, then an activity coordinator role or a child life assistant, role would be really beneficial to you. So you might look into that. So if you'd like to, whether or not you'd like to move forward that way, if you'd like to observe an activity coordinator at a hospital, if that interests you, also email me. I will find you contact. Okay. I don't know that observing Radio Lollipop is going to be an option this semester. We had some difficulty with it in the past, but if you, that's also on the list. I'm just going right off the list. If you're interested, let me know. So planning and executing an event at the zone. There is a particular form you need to fill out. This one, I would encourage the 3 of you, or at least 2 of you, to get together and do this together. You could do this as a group. What you would do is basically plan an activity for children at the hospital to come and join that you would host in an activity room that's available at Texas Children's. Then you would coordinate with the activity coordinator staff there to put it on. They have volunteer groups come in all of the time. So it would just be, you guys would be functioning, you as a class, or you as the 3 of you, or 4 of you, would be functioning as a volunteer group together. I do have special forms that you would need to fill out and contacts that you would need to email. I will send you that information if you're interested. So as you're kind of looking through this video, make notes, make a list, and then email me what you would like me to help you with. I told those of you that joined the phone call the other night, I'm very passionate about helping people become child life specialists. I feel very strongly. However, I am a mom. I run a full-time business at home. I have to keep up with my certification, and this isn't the only class I teach. So I can't, especially because this is an independent study, so the university treats my role very differently. I cannot hold your hand. You have to do it with me, but I'm happy to help you if you're willing to do the work. The fieldwork hours take up 30% of your grade. Okay, Ronald McDonald House. This one you would contact them directly on your own. What you could do, if you were smart, was the 3 of you could get together. You could plan one activity and get the supplies for one activity, and you could do that activity at Texas Children's Hospital and then do it at Ronald McDonald House for 2 separate sets of hours. Bo's Place has volunteering opportunities. You can serve, you can serve meals in their kitchen. You can find out if they have any other volunteer opportunities. You can reach out to Bo's Place and try to take a tour of their facility. That one is great. Again, if the three of you chose to get together and pick a time and ask for a tour at that time, I'm sure they'd be happy to take the three of you on a tour. Children's Assessment Center is another place you can reach out to individually. Camp for All is another place that you could reach out to individually, or the three of you again could drive out to camp. I'm so sorry, let me explain what these two places are. So Bo's Place is a grief center for children and families. They provide support for families who have gone through a death of a loved one. They provide support groups, I think ages 3 years old and up. But it's a wonderful facility. I would find out everything you can about that. They also sometimes put on grief workshops where you can learn about working with children in grief. If you went to one of those, they do cost money. So it's certainly not required for my class. But if you were to go to one of those workshops, I would count every hour that you were at a workshop as a fieldwork hour. Again, you would need to write a reflection paper for me to provide credit, but I would be happy to provide credit for that. Okay, Children's Assessment Center is an area in town where they provide assessments for kiddos and services for kiddos who've been through abuse, kiddos who have autism. All different kinds of things happen at the Children's Assessment Center. You can learn more about it on their website, which I have on the list. And you are welcome to get up to 15 hours there. Camp for All is a camp facility for children with, for children with chronic skin conditions that's the camp I help at the Camp for All facility. Scratch that. I'm so sorry. I'm talking about Camp Dermadillo. That's my camp. So Camp for All is a facility that hosts camps for all different kiddos. It is a, how do I want to describe it? They say they have literally a camp with no limitations. Even for people who have physical limitations, the camp doesn't have limitations. So Camp for All hosts camps like Camp Pump It Up for kiddos with heart conditions, Camp SIA for kiddos with GI conditions, Dermadillo skin conditions was one I accidentally started to automatically talk to you about. YOLO for kiddos with cancer, periwinkle, also cancer, Spike and Wave, epilepsy, rheumatological camp, kidney camp, sickle cell camp. So it's a facility that hosts camps that come and use their facility there and do camps. You are also open to interviewing. So you can do interviews for fieldwork hours. But I do ask that you don't do more than 3 interviews. But you can interview a nurse or a doctor who you know works with children. You can do an interview, and I have the interview questions for you, and I'll post those on Blackboard. You can interview social worker, anyone in pediatrics, and there's a whole list there. Then there's a couple things you can do. One other thing you can do for hours is you can read the book Mick Hart Was Here by Barbara Park, and I will give you I have 3 hours down. So I'll give you 3 hours for doing that book, and then I have a book report, a template that I want you to follow, and I will put that on Blackboard. You can also watch the film Babies, which is a documentary, and get 3 hours for that, and you'll complete a movie review. And I'm fairly certain that Babies is on Netflix, so you can get the movie. Pretty sure they also have it at Target in the $5 area. Not that you have to buy it. So those are some ways that you can get your fieldwork hours, and it's really not as hard as it sounds. What you want to do though is really commit to getting those done. I would not wait until November, or then you'll really be stuck. Okay, the other ways we get, y'all get graded in my course. So there'll be 3 exams. 2 of them will be take-home style, essay style exams, and 1 will be a multiple choice. That will be at the end of the semester. So the other 2 I will post, and I'll give you a week to 2 weeks to complete it. They're a lot of work, but they're really valuable. The multiple choice exam is an attempt, at least for me, to mirror the Child Life Certification exam. So everything I assign you, I have no busy work because I am too busy to grade busy work. So everything I ask you to do in the class is for a reason. Okay. What else? So project. At the end of the semester, you'll complete a project. I think I've done a pretty good job writing up the explanation. So I guess I'll wait to see if you all have questions on the project. So that's how you get your points for the class: fieldwork hours, exam, and project. And that's it. You will need absolutely, and I will make them more clear, and I apologize that really I don't think that they are super clear, and I do apologize for that. Let me just check my... Oh, it does say. So, on your, oh, okay, I need to post this for you. So on Blackboard, I will post a list of the things you need to be reading. That should help you, hopefully, and make things a little more clear. So you are definitely going to have to read your book. Have to read your book, because I'm not doing in-person lectures. So you will need to read your book, and you will need to go through PowerPoints and watch the videos on the PowerPoints. And we'll all be getting together soon. I know you're going to love the information in this class. I've had 4 students go on, let's see. I've had many students go on to be child life specialists in the small classes that I've taught. I've had 2 get hired on as activity coordinators at different hospitals, and several go on to get internships. So I know it's possible, and I'm excited for all of you.